So, good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to week two of ScholarSpace capacity building. So, today we're going to cover about grit. And before we go into grids, we're going to cover a bit as a reminder of our last session. So, Ikigai. So, Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy meaning the reason for being or life purpose. So last week we talked about a bit what is Ikigai, the purpose of the Ikigai, and then I'm gonna cover more. So we're gonna skim through a bit before we reach to grid, okay? And Ali, maybe if you can help edit the grid a bit, that would be ideal too. Yes,
Yes, I will.
sounds good. So I'm gonna jump through what our last sessions was. So Ikigai is like I mentioned earlier, is a Japanese philosophy that's translated to a reason for being. Because like every day we wake up, we want to know like what are we doing? Why are we doing it? Who are we doing it for? Is it for ourselves? Is it our family, our community, or what is the purpose of living, right? So in these sessions, we want to learn a bit about it's not this session, it's last session. We want a bit about like how do we discover who we are, what we want in life, and how we gonna reach that. So again, it start with a problem. So living without purpose is a waste. So how? How are we finding our purpose? Or do you get up every day, uh, scare yourself, like what I'm gonna do, what's next? Oh, I hate my job so much. What I'm gonna do now? So all of that, we're gonna step into a deep inside of it a bit in terms of, hey, where are you now, and what it's gonna be like. So living without purpose is like a disconnecting between our daily activity and our authentic self that can lead to, a serious depressions and severe mental issue. Some people, a lot of people committed suicide because of the depressions and all those factor involved. So Ikigai is one way among many to discover and to diagnose yourself at the early stage in terms of your purpose of life, right? And it's very important for youth to understand about themselves and what they want. So with this, we have two factors that fold the solution together. The first one would be the change of mindset. For example, shifting our perspective toward our current situation and make it more enjoyable. For example, sometimes we'll say that fake it until you make it. So this is the situation, right? And the others is changing circumstances, circumstantial change. So basically, if you hate it so much, it's time to move on. It's time to find something better. It's time to switch, to shift career paths, right? So if one door closed, there are many doors open. So we just need to find that door. Okay. So I'm gonna just fly through it a bit. So our session today is about grid. So today we wanna cover the old session a bit as a reminder so that you are well aware. So we're gonna put all of this recording on YouTube as well, so that you can go back and review what you're missing. Okay. So one of the best quote about Ikigai is when we do the right thing with the right mindset, we can enter a state of flow where work become effortless and fulfilling. So what does it mean become effortless or and it fulfilling? When our work become effortless, it means that we enjoy working. Time goes very quickly and we feel a sense of satisfactions, and this is what we want. And there are four dimensions of ikigai. So the first one is what you good at. um what is your passions, what the world needs, and then also how are you gonna get paid. Okay, we're gonna fly through it, and again, you guys can review it later on YouTube on the last sessions. So what you good at referring to two things. So the first one is something that you naturally talented. For example, you're good at singing, you're good at something, what the strength that you're born with it. And the second one is develop ability, technical skill, creativity, learn, expertise. This developing ability meaning that you work on it so many times, so many hours you put into it until you become expert in it. You become specialized in it. So that is how you become, develop your abilities. Okay. So a lot of people focusing on, trying to fix your weakness. Sometimes fixing your weakness is a waste of time because you know that you're not gonna be good at it. So better to focus on your strength. But don't get confused between weakness and haven't tried it yet. Sometimes if you don't know, if you haven't tried it yet, how do you know it's a weakness? It's so two different things. Anyone have question on this before I move on? Yes, no, okay. I think it's straightforward. So what you love is basically easy to understand, something that you spend a lot of time doing, but it seems like it's so, time fly by so fast because you love it so much. Right? And sometimes something that, it's so hard for other people, it's so easy for you. So that is something that, you find it love. Okay? So we can go past it real fast. Passions, what the world needs. So basically, there's a lot of things that the world needs right now. So the best thing is to find yourself, become an expert in the field, and this is to align with what your country need or what the world needs. Okay, so it's gonna be flying. So it this is just a review. So what you get paid is a profession. So basically, it means that whatever you do, then you get paid. It's a profession, something that make you sustain. So a lot of people get confused. And then they ask, Mom, how do we know our passion, right? When you ask about passion, what do you mean? So a passion is a combination of what you love and what you're good at. So again, when you love something and you're good at something, it's a high personal satisfaction. That means that you feel you are feeling fulfilled and you naturally talent it's a natural talent development. What is missing, right? It's missing what the world needs, and you cannot do what you love and what you're good at without getting paid. So this is what missing as a result. It's potentially fulfilled, but it's not sustained because you don't get paid. Nowadays, we need money too. When people say money is not important, that's a lie. Because without money, you can move on with what you love and you can continue to do what you're good at too, right? So you have to be aware of that. So emissions. A lot of people also confuse and ask, what is emissions? So again, a mission is love plus what the world needs. So what is it like? So it's more like you have a strong of satisfaction and you feel the purpose in yourself. You feel that it's a meaningful contribution to the society that you're in, but at the same time you're not good at it. You need skill, you need income. So as a result, it's a well-intentioned, but possibly It's not sustained. It's not ineffective because you're not good at it and you don't get paid. Okay. Vocations is what the world need and what you get paid. So it's social contributions, meaning that you give to what your purpose, what's the world need, and you get paid. But at the same time, you don't love it, you hate it so much. That is something that missing. And then also you're not good at it because you don't have natural talents. Well, you don't have the natural talents that you can utilize. As a result, it is dutiful but potentially soul crushing work. So basically, you get paid. This is what the world need, but you don't like it, right? So the same thing with professions. So this is what you're good at, what you get paid. But at the same time, um, this is not your passion to do it. And this is not the world needs. As a result, it's successful but potentially meaningless, even harmful, because you don't feel like you do it out of your purpose, you know? It's not your mission to do it. Any questions on this? This is just a summary of what we learned last week. No questions? So again, what you want to do, uh, if you are following Ikigai, the Japanese philosophy for well-being, you need to find like something in here. What does it mean? Why? How is it work? So let's review it together. So what you love, so you love what you do. This making work feel effortless, right? When you excel in all the activity, you build confidence and it's effective within the work environment that you're in. And at the same time, if you serve the world, it's creating meaning and purpose. So you feel the fulfillment and satisfaction of doing what the world needs. At the same time, you earn sustainable income, meaning that you also get paid doing what you love, what you're good at, okay, and what the world needs. And this alignment allow you to enter a flow state. What does it mean? It means that you doing it effortless and at the same time you feel fulfilled, a sense of fulfillment. And this is so important that you reach that. That's why Ikigai is so important. Why a lot of writer, a lot of author move to the countryside, focusing on, what they good at. They also get paid, and then at the same time, they feel like the world need the target audience, the beneficiary needed. So this is that was their ikigai. So a lot of people have different purpose, different reason for being. So it is very important that you find this at a very young age. Okay. Any questions so far before we move on? Okay. So there are some steps to find your ikigai. So the first one is to follow what you're good at. Very similar to what Bon covered earlier. It's about what skill do other consistently compliment you on, what you're good at. Sometimes we don't know it until someone's complimented on us. Like, hey, you good at time management. Hey, you good at, singing. You good at, organizing. You good at this certain task. So you need to, you know, pay attention to those. And sometimes you are doing self-diagnosis. For example, what kind of task you feel effortless, meaning that it's easy for you, but it's challenge, it's difficult for other people. Do you have that kind of, that kind of task that you recognize yourself? Another question, what were you naturally drawn to as a child? What you wanna do when you were a child? What you think you wanna do when you grow up? And this is important too. And understanding, a lot of you are in university, but some of you, you are young professional already. So when we're talking about what kind of area you learn faster, try to recognize this. Some people, there are two ways that you can recognize it. Uh, the first one is when you like certain subject, you tend to be interested, you learn fast, you get ahead of everyone's. And another way to look at it is that you don't know you hate or you like whatever subject unless you try it first, unless you give it a try and give yourself a chance to explore, right? And if you don't try something, how do you know you're good at it? Or how do you know you're bad at it? How do you know you love it? How you know you hate it? So try first, and then we can discuss and do self-reflections. So what you love, meaning what activity make you lost track of time. For example, when I teach, when I do sharing sessions, time went by so quickly. Why? Because I love talking to people. I love sharing activity. I love sharing knowledge. That is time flying. And sometimes we need to ask ourselves, what would you do if money wasn't a factor? Ask yourself that. Again, money is important, but what you love is also important too, okay? What kind of subject do you search during the free time? For example, how to do digital content, how to do this math problem, how to teach. What do you do during your free time? What do you search? What kind of work do you enjoy most? That is so important too. Okay? What the world needs. Um, Living in this society, especially with what's going on in our society now, um, a lot of people face numerous problems. The world face numerous problems. Do you see yourself as part of the solutions? That is very important too. Okay. Again, money is important. So, what skill knowledge you could other pay you? You have to think of that. Unless you try it, unless you know your value, that means that you reach the state. Okay. So how do you implement it? It start with self-reflections. So step back, do some self-reflection, do journal at night. Try to find yourself, who you are. Try to experience a lot of activity. Sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone to learn about yourself, right? What sometimes it's also reflecting on your energy too. Some people like to read. When they read, they have a lot of energy, but when they communicate with others, they don't have a lot of energy. So try to observe your energy, balance it, and then what kind of activity that gives you more energy, that is very important. And stay curious. uh you know Try, the world have a lot of things to do for you to explore. um Remain curious, ask a lot of questions, and don't jump to a big step. Always take smaller steps so that you don't feel overwhelmed and starting to hate it. Okay. Okay, I hope you find your ikigai. There are some 5 steps that you can do it. For example, the step one would be start small, choosing the area that you like to pay attention to and seek improvement. For example, if you want to try something, you shouldn't jump into a big step. For example, I want to change my or improve my English by reading, you know, 15 book per month. Sometimes it's impossible when you read zero book and jump to 15 books. At least start with one book first, right? See if you like it. Free yourself. A lot of people, sometimes they hold a lot of grudges, but what can you do to free yourself? Let go and break free from old ideas. Identify what really make you happy rather than other people happy. This right here is very important. You need to take a break in terms of, breathe, relax. Instead of focusing on a lot of people, sometimes step back and think about yourself. What makes you happy? It's so important because we only live once, and finding yourself pleasing other people every day, you're gonna lose yourself eventually. So how do you make yourself happy? By what? Doing the thing that you love, getting paid, finding what the world needs, and you doing that. And at the same time, enjoy what you're doing at the moment. That is how you give yourself, love yourself. Seek harmony and sustainability. Not a lot of work uh pay, but you cannot say that you don't want to get paid. Does it make sense to everyone? Money is important. You need to balance what kind of thing that you can do for free, what kind of thing that you expect to get paid. So it's very important to set a boundary. So otherwise you're gonna get abused. So this is very, very important. And that make you stay healthy too. And step four, try to enjoy little things. Um, what I do best is I do a to-do list every night before I go to sleep. I check on my phone on my to-do list and it's like, oh, okay, I done this, I done this. This is how many tasks I owe to for other people, and this is some task that I feel that it's a sense of fulfillment for myself. It's a satisfaction. For example, I take my car for a wash. I pet my cats and all those. Try to enjoy that little thing that help you feel you. Does it make sense? Yes. And step five is about being here now. A lot of people focus so much on the past, something that they cannot change. And a lot of people focus on their future. However, they don't know how to manage that. So sometimes focusing on the present is the best thing, and learn to enjoy the journey. So not we don't know. Life is so unpredictable. So try to enjoy every step out the way. Okay? So finding your ikigai is knowing yourself. When you have a clear purpose, no one can stop you. Okay? So before we move further, any question on ikigai? I know I flew by very fast. I want to make sure that everyone who joined here understand it too. Any question before we move on? I cannot answer through chat. I would be best if you can unmute yourself and if you have questions. Okay, now it's jump to our big two. Um, can I have a show of hands? Can I pick on someone? Have anyone heard about grit before? Anyone heard of grit?
No,
No.
Me too.
So Petra, have you heard of grit before?
I was just checking the meaning, and I'm not sure, but maybe I have seen some video, like inspiring video before, but just hear you out first.
Okay. Uh, Primoy, have you had a grade?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay. If you said no, we're gonna go back to the session because grade is something that I covered in Yado long ago. Nared, have you had a grade before?
Yes, bro.
Okay, what is grade?
From from motoring and from my perspective, great is like perseverance. Is like not working for a day or the day for a month, but it's just like working for a long time and for a long life, something like that, bro.
Yes. So, grit is setting a long-term goal through perseverance and all of those. Okay, good job. So, let's see. Oh, where is my slide? Okay. So, today is more about grit. Sorry, I'm frozen. My slide is frozen. Ollie, can you share slide? My laptop is frozen.
Yes, yes, I will.
Thank you. Okay. Don't know why the size not showing. Okay. Everyone see the slide?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna pick on Lloyd. Lloyd, can you read it for me?
Okay, we'll try. Grit is the combination of passions and
Perseverance.
perseverance toward long-term goal. It's about maintaining effort and interest despite failure and adversity and pleasure in progress.
What do you think, Lloyd?
I know that you will ask that question. You know it.
What do you think? Um,
I just like
because
come up with the yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no,
I
you
just
go ahead.
like
What?
I just like come up with the word like passions and long-term goal. That
Mhm.
I will talk about it more. Like um, it's a kind of thing that you need to know what if you're good at, you passion at with it, and then
Mhm.
it will like make you how can I say like grow more, and then it could be your long or your future plan, something like that. It's a kind of long-term goal. For example, like me, I am a
Yes.
passionate in storytelling. So I feel like oh maybe a kind of job related to something, create story, related to movie or film, something like that. So I choose a field in a media sector. That's why it's my long-term goal.
Okay.
I could, yeah,
Um,
thank you.
what do you think about perseverance? Perseverance in Khmer is aton.
Again, please, sorry.
Perseverance. What do you think about this?
What does it mean? It's in Khmer, like
Aton.
resilient. Mm. Mm. it's a kind of resilient, I think. Like I should heard from you first. Yeah, honestly, thank you.
You not give up easily, right?
I see.
Yes. Ali, I share a YouTube on the chat. I was wondering if you can show it real quick, and then we're gonna watch it together. And after we watch it, I think it would be very ideal for everyone to know about grit even more. So grit is a personality trait by Angela Douglas. So she is a psychologist, and I think it would be ideal for everyone to listen to her. Yeah. Ali, you unmute.
Can you hear the voice?
Years old. I left a
Yes.
very demanding job in management consulting for a
Everyone
job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach seventh graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests. I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. Kinds of things you need to learn in seventh grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. We can pause right here and then go back to our slide. But before we go back to our slide, I'm gonna call on Loi back. Loi, after you seeing this video, like how do you feel?
For me, I'm not yet clear enough about the grit, but at least I just know about like when you have grit in your life, it like more better. You have like plan or like directions in your purpose, life purpose, something like that.
Yes, exactly. So it's it's heavily depend on the first thing that we have to look at is, setting a long-term goal. A lot of people, get confused, like, how do you set a long-term goal? Is this something that, you know, people are good at naturally or something that build on? How do people find their happiest moment or like a goal in life, right? A lot of time it's happening with Caucasian society where a lot of parents, they send their children to school like a best school. Also at the same time hire people to train their children so that they can have secure a long successful long-term goal and become the next CEO, right? And this is a mystery behind their success, which is grit. So grit is building on a passions and add on perseverance, add on many practices, many resilient, build the resilience toward a long-term goal. And it's very, very important to set a long-term goal and build step by step. How do you reach there? And this is very important. This is something that we build on in terms of, the scholarship depending on the career plan as well. So next slide, please, Oliver. Can I get the next slide? So like Angela mentioned earlier, so grit is about talents, it's effort. And when you put talents and effort together, it's become skill. What does that mean? It means that you need to find what you're good at. What you're good at is something that called talent. Talent alone cannot take you to a farthest place that you can be. So you need to put effort into it. When talents multiplied by effort, then you get skill. So when we say, "Oh, I don't have skill," or something like this, because what? You never done it. You haven't put enough effort into it. So that's why you don't have the skill. And skill alone cannot bring you far. So you need to have skill and effort all together. You need to put it all together and toward a meaningful activity. When you success from it, it's called achievement, right? So this means effort count twice in the equation for success, meaning that you need to build your skill first and then add on, put everything need effort. So, and if you don't put effort in, you're not gonna have skill, you're not gonna have achievements. So, does it make sense? So now let's take a step back to understand the key component, right? So we talked about it last time, passions. So passions, having consistent interest, caring deeply about what you're working on, meaning that what what you love and how do you gonna reach there. So it's about understanding passions. And the next step is perseverance. In Khmer, we call ton. So perseverance is something that you continue to work hard every day, even you facing challenges or failure or slow progress, you're not gonna give up. So understanding that, oh, you want something, you're not gonna give up on it so easily. So it's resilience, it's perseverance. And a lot of time we need to think about our growth mindset, believe in ability that it can be developed through effort and learning. Some um it's so important to tap on your shoulder and say, hey, today you did good, but what you gonna do different tomorrow? I know that sometimes we give up easily because the result cannot be built, in just a blink of an eye. It need effort. It need consistency. So all of those you need to train your mindset so that you can grow. And the difference between grit and talent is how sustained effort often matter more than natural ability. What does it mean? We were talking about talents earlier. Talent divided in can be in two categories. The first is natural talent, meaning that you're born with it. The second is a built on talent, meaning that you do it over and over and over again until you become good at it, until you become an expert. So that means what you need. Again, you need effort. Does it make sense for everyone before we move on to the next slide? All good? Next slide, please, Oliver. Okay, so there are four pillars for grit. The first ones, according to Angela Douglas, is interest, practice, purpose, and hope. Interest, we'll talk about it earlier. She mentioned in her video too. She said that greedy people genuinely love what they do, but interests aren't discovered in a flash. They gradually develop over time through experimentations. What does it mean? It's like the example that I asked last time to one of the participants. When you walk into a coffee shop, what are you gonna order? Iced latte or banana smoothie? How do you know that banana smoothie is fit you best and you don't like iced latte? Because you try both and you know that this is something that you like. And again, to build interest in something, unless you step into that water many times, and then you know exactly that it's not for you, that means that you can move on, right? Mm, right here, the word experimental, it for me, it meant a lot because sometimes a lot of youth, sometimes a lot of young professional reach out to me that how do I know that they're good at something. So if you haven't tried it yet, how do you know that you're good at it? And if you're not putting a lot of effort into it, how do you know that you can give up on it? You need more experience to be in the space, in the place where you at. And it's come to practice again. Practice, according to Angela Duckworth, she mentioned that they engage in deliberate practice, identifying weaknesses and working hard to improve them, not just going through the motions. What does it mean? It means that people are not God. They have strength and they have their weaknesses. And it's it need a lot of time to improve it. And then it needs a lot of motion, to not just motion alone, but a mindset to adapt, to push, and to understand about ourselves. Okay. And purpose again. I think the word purpose come through all our sessions. So the first session is about ikigai. The second session is about grit. So what is your purpose in life? The intention to contribute to the well-being of yourself, your family, and others. So most greedy people see their goal as connecting to something beyond themselves. So what does it mean? Sometimes we need to think in terms of, are we doing this for ourselves? Are we doing this for our family? Are we doing this as a society as a whole, what the world needs, right? But most importantly, love yourself first, your family, and the community. That is something important that you have to keep in mind. And hope, not, I think it doesn't cost anything to hope, right? Believe that you can improve. Believe that a setback are temporary. Um, we are here because, if you believe in Buddhist, it's because of karma. Your existence is because of karma that you built from the past life whatsoever. But it's always, you know, good to have hope. It keep you going. It keep you believing and in yourself. It keep you motivating. It's it's more like a light that can connect you to the next bigger thing, right? Any question on this before I move on? Yes, no, okay. We have 20 people, so I want it
For
to be,
me, I have a question.
yes.
I'm a little bit confused between like purpose and hope. Sometimes I feel like it the same. Can I say like that?
Um, so for me, hope is something that you expecting, you wishing, right? Purpose is something that you set on. It's a life purpose, right? Does it make sense to you, Lai?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes. So hope is like, oh, I hope it's gonna be rain today because it's so hot. A hope is more like, oh, I wish um life gonna be easier because right now I'm going through a hard time. But purpose is different. Purpose is something that you set, something that a mission that you run after, right? I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, good. Ollie, next slide, please. Okay, so the core component, passion plus perseverance for a long-term goal. How are we gonna get that? So we're gonna explore next. Next, please. We talked about this earlier. The first thing is to find your passions. So the passion is tricky, but there are activity that might not expand, various aspect of it. So for example, a lot of people might love creating YouTube content but hate filming, meaning that they like something but they hate something. How do you know that you like something but at the same time you hate something? Because a lot of time it's a combination. If you want to be, influencer or content creator, you have to go through a few things, right? Filming, recording, uh, editing, or being just out there. So what do you love? You could enjoy writing, but uh, don't like a business like a publishing. Author can write many books, but when it's come to publishing, they have to deal with a lot of stuff. They have to deal with, money generating. How are they gonna secure the fund to publish? That's a lot of things. So rather than spending energy trying to fix weaknesses, focus on developing your natural strength to achieve mastery. Why settle for, mediocrity when you have the potential for greatness? What does it mean? It means that if you love something, focusing on your strength, and if you know that it is a weakness, try to find substitute. Try to find someone that good at something that you're not good at. You can work together. Okay? Does it make sense? It's quiet, so let's move on. Um, we went through this through the previous slide, through Ikigai, so we're gonna skip this one. Okay, so in order to set a long-term goal, we need to have SMART plus P approach. What is SMART plus P approach? Can anyone guess what is P stand for? I know I put SMART in there already. Let's see, what does P stand for? Mekara? Mekara is
I think it's professional, Bong, but I'm not sure. But I think it's professional.
it's close. P is purpose. We'll like go around the purpose all the time, right? All the sessions. So if you are planning to apply for any scholarship or like planning to step on a career path, I highly recommend that you learn about SMART approach. So what is SMART? SMART stand for S is called specific. You have to set a clear, well-defined, targets. You need to answer who, what, where, when, and why. What is it that you want to do? Who is going to be involved? Where it's going to be? When you want to do it? Why you want to do it? Try to answer those questions. Example could be improve presentation skill versus complete a public speaking course and delivery 5 presentation by year end, right? It's very clear that this one you had to complete a public speaking course and deliver 5 presentations by end of the year. What does it have? This is complete a public speaking course, meaning that's the action. This is the target, deliver 5 presentations. When? By the end of the year. Versus this is it's hard to predict when, where, what, and why. Improve presentation skill. Like how do you want to improve it? What need to be done? When is it? Why is it? So this first one versus this second one. Makes sense, right? Is it measurable? A lot of time when we set goal, we forgot that it is too big for us to achieve. When we set a goal that is too big to achieve, we start to doubt on ourselves, meaning that, oh, we're not good enough. Oh, that goal is, beyond human can reach. But let's set some goal that's something that can measure. For example, is it clear to measure? Clear metric to measure on it. Progress can be tracked or not. It can be assessed or not, right? If you cannot be track your progress, it's not a progress. It's imaginary. You imagine thing that is gonna happen. It's not accessible. How do you know you improve? How do you know you need to learn from it? What is failure? What is success? For example, this is something that you said, something that measurable. Example one is get a better grade. Thus versus achieve a 3.5 GPA this semester. I'm gonna go to Ling Han. I'm gonna call on you on. Ling Han, are you here? Ling Han is not here. Monica?
Yeah, teacher.
Monica, what do you think? Get a better grade versus achieve a 3.5 GPA this semester. Which one is you think is you can measure?
I think we have a clear purpose with our sacrifice. No matter what, we just keep going on.
Yes. So among these two, so get a better grade versus achieve a 3.5 GPA this semester. Which one is clearer for you?
Yeah, teacher, I think when we have a grade, we should try all our best to do it.
Yes.
And I think one more, it's about when we do, we know where is the direction we want to go. This is the real that I see. Yes, teacher.
Yes. So let's think about this. Get a better grade. What is better grade? People give definition to better grade different thing, right? I could have a 3.9 and I want a 4.0. That's not clear. But for this one, it's very clear. What is it? To achieve a GPA, right? A higher GPA, which is a 3.5. This is something that I can measure. When? It's going to be this semester. So it's clear that you set a bar for yourself. And the next one is achievable or attainable. What does it mean? Is is it realistic given your current resources, skill, or constraints? Sometimes again, we tend to put like a high expectations, a high goal that sometimes it's not achievable. So we want to make sure that it realistic. For example, I want to go to mom. I want to go to the moon by this Friday. Uh, Let me call. Omar, are you here? Omar Fisel?
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Yes. Does does that sound achievable for me to go to the moon by this Friday?
No, it is impossible.
Yes.
This is not achievable.
Yes. That's why this is very important when we try to understand it's achievable. That means that we set a goal that is realistic, right? It is challenging, of
Yes,
course,
ma'am.
but it's not impossible. Example, setting a goal to run a 5K before attempting a marathon. Yes, it's achievable because you're practicing it. So it's a 5K, and you attempting to run a marathon. All good? Next slide, please. Anyone have questions on specific, measurable, and achievable? All good, right? Okay. Next slide. I think we're missing one slide. Can you go back, Ali? We have SMA. I think we're missing one slide. No worry. Go back. Go back to SMART. Go back to SMART approach. One more to the left. Yes. So what we're missing is R. Can somebody tell me what does R mean? Retainable. And T is time bound. Okay. So is it like possible? Is it something that we can take? It's retainable. Time. We need to measure the time so that we need to make sure that it is reachable. Okay. Next slide. To purpose. So the key aspect of purpose. So when we're talking about purpose, I know we're talking about ikigai. I know that we're talking about it earlier. I want to emphasize one more time. When you're thinking about yourself, your family, and your community, um, it's a purpose of life, and you need to set up your purpose too. So majority of the time it's beyond self-interest. It's how you go serve other and contributed to something bigger than yourself. For example, a lot of scholarship looking for something that you give back to community, something that you see there is a problem in a society that you working so hard to tackle those problem. Okay, someone have questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a smart plus P framework. So we learned SMART. But P, what is P for?
P is for purpose right here.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So we're talking about the positive impact that you want to make in the world. It, you are unique, you contributing to your field or community, meaning that scholarship, they love those. So if you're planning to apply for scholarship, think about your field of try to connect it beyond your self-interest. Okay, and you can write it from there. And we talking about value that align. What is your belief? What is your principle that align with, what's going on out there, your work, your society, or even something that you volunteer? Is it aligned with your belief and your principle? When you do something that you believe is right with your principle, you tend to grow a lot faster and you learn a lot better than something that you don't believe that it's gonna be right. It's not aligned with your principle, then it's gonna be a misery working at that place. It's gonna be a tragic working at that place. Another thing is reflect on what's matter most to you personally. For me, what matter to me most is about empowering youth and businesses. Right now, as a CEO of TV stations, I work heavily gathering all the resources, as well as to support the community so that they get the accurate news, and also they know, they understand about the resources that they can get access to better their life, their family, and the community as a whole. On other side, I do a lot of sharing session as a founder of ScholarSpace. So everything is free. So during my free time, I like to share all these kind of courses so that I can help people set up and prepare for scholarship in their near future. Guide decisions, making when faced with choices. So it's mean that when we do something that align with our core belief and principle, our decisions tend to, favor those more. And we make decisions based on our experience, based on our knowledge, and as well as the choices that we tend to select. It's when you experience more, you tend to give out more. That's how I experience it. Intrinsic motivation drive you from within, not external reward. So one of the reasons that I moved back to Cambodia 6 years ago, because there was this little girl came to help me saying that she can go to school, her brother can go to school. Um, the whole community in the village, they actually sustained the income due to the zero interest loan that I gave like a few months back, almost a year back. I didn't know that I make that such an impact for her. I thought it's just like a 1 zero interest loan, but for her it's a life changing. So this is something that I feel reward internally, meaning that it's, you know it built me up. Whenever I go through difficult time, that come to me. That's what that inspire me to co-founded youth advancement organization, where we provide free housing for youth who want to continue their university in the city, right? So this is something that I believe is a rewarding for me, that I can support and build and give hand to the younger generations. It's my source of energy. So when we hit like, a low bottom, where do we find our source of energy? We need to find this kind of experience that can fill us up in terms of, when we'll go through a hard time. Okay. So this make our journey is very meaningful. It's make my journey is very meaningful. So the last 6 year that I was in Cambodia, it was one of my happiest moments. It gave me energy, it gave me hope so that I can continue on. So I think it would be ideal for you to find those source of positive energy that can give you the strength, that can give you the positive mindset to move on, because we are just human. We sometimes we meet challenges, and how are we gonna get out of those challenges? And this kind of energy help you a lot. Does it make sense for everyone? Yes, no, okay. Yeah, let's continue on. Sorry, I like to do like a physical session more than online because I can interact more, but we have no choice. So any questions before we move on, please? Yes, no,
No.
no questions? Oh,
No, Bong, thank you.
okay, sounds good. So I saw questions on the chat. So what is R? Give me. Okay, bong mẹ kra. R is it could be for realistic or it could be for relevant. So you are right. When we're talking about relevance, we're talking about, does it align with your broader objective or value? Does it mean, does it worthwhile for you to, to do it? Time, we're talking about time bound. We're talking about deadline. Are you putting a realistic deadline to yourself? Again, can I reach the moon by next Friday? Not impossible, right? So, yes. So you need to follow the SMART approach so that it's consistent. MSART, SMART approach. Okay. Sounds good. So, in this is something that I created a few years back. It's called My Journey, and it's a lot of people who went through my sharing sessions about scholarship. You see this a lot, but I change it a lot too based on scholarship that you are applying. So with this, My Journey framework, it's more about trying to understand who you are as a person and what do you want. So when we're talking about external, the problem, so again, being born as humans is a part of karma, is a part of, I don't know if you are Buddhist, um, when we say, what is it? When we say, when we're breathing, there's also karma, but it could be a good karma or it could be a bad karma, right? So as human being, we see problem evolve around us. What problem do you see that you want to solve? So we're talking about, when we're talking about problem, we're talking about external and we're talking about it. Yes.
Someone is asking in the chat. Uh, he is asking about for your past experience, did you face any major challenges in your life? If so, how can you solve them? One imperative to that motivate you moving forward. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he's asking about your
Uh,
past experience and your challenges, yes.
yeah. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of challenges that we face, right? So, right after I graduated, I was a business navigator. So what I do is I bring resources to the business community. My Khmer suck back then. So while bringing all the businesses, the resources to the businesses, I keep knocking on that door, sharing resources, but I couldn't gain their trust. That was the biggest challenge that I faced because, I couldn't, they couldn't understand me, my broken Khmer. So, and I have like a KPI that I need to meet, otherwise they're gonna fire me. So that was the hardest time during my work at as a business navigator. Um, what um, what motivate me is that I'm bringing like good thing to the people for free, meaning that it with the resources they can grow their businesses, but it's so hard to gain their trust. After knocking on their door every Friday, they got annoying by me. So they came and asked me like, what do I want? And then I told the business owner that, oh, this is the resources. This is the corridor grants that are available. Why don't you apply? And the business owner saying that they did apply, but they never get it. So I started to dig deeper into why they didn't get it. It turned out that language barrier is the problem that they're facing. because every resources are in English, and English is not their first languages. So, which means that it hinder uh, uh, the potential for them to apply. So, as a result, I do a protest. I joined a lot of people doing the protest, so we end up getting a few $1 million for the language access. So everything had to uh, translate it into English, Khmer, and Tagalog and Spanish. So that is how I overcome it. So I consistently knocking on their door so that I could understand what is the real problem behind it, right? I was threatened a few times, like if I don't get to meet a KPI, uh, I wouldn't get to stay. Yes. I was threatened a few times. Like, if you don't meet the target, you're not gonna stay at the organizations. And as a result, I consistently knocking on their door, trying to, get curious about like why are they applying? This is a free resources for them. It's free money. But it's end up that they have, they have problem on their own too. It's not that they don't trust me enough to speak it out. But when I annoying them enough with my curiosity, they tend to come back to me and tell me those. That is something that I find is very valuable. And if I give up on the first few try, I don't think I'm gonna be here. Uh, that's after 2 years of working as a business navigator, bringing business resources to the community. I have established the first women business center in California. That is something that I'm so proud of, and it still exists until today, and it's growing. In fact, this is something that I wrote on my chevening essay as well. So it got me selected to as a scholar I am today. Um, Also, at the same time, I feel that I I fulfill all those, but I was not satisfied with my life. I mean, I got good pay. The work that I do is become easy because I understand resources. I understand about my clients. My client is just like 200 businesses portfolio, but it's gonna be them. It's just them, 200 people, business owner. I live in a small town, so I don't see myself grow. By the age of 24, I feel like I meet a midlife crisis. I don't know if you guys know about it. I feel like I'm not growing. I don't know what to do. That's when I visited a hometown in my mom hometown. So that's how I propose a zero interest loan. That's how I learn about the zero interest loan affected, and it it show impact, it show fulfillment when the two mushroom farm that we provide zero interest loan allow people to live a better life, allow their children to go back to school, and just one hug from this little girl gave me, the life performance to to try to try for a better impact. So I came back, saved my money, and moved to Cambodia. Um, oh, I quit my job, sell my car, moved to Cambodia, and yeah, for 6 years. Now I'm back in the U.S. Pursuing my PhD. So that is my life performance and the challenges that I face. So I feel like the midlife crisis was that between that age, right? Yes. I hope I answered that question. Who was asking? Ling hands? Did I
Yes.
answer your question?
I think he has a microphone error. That's why he can speak. Yeah.
Okay. So now we move back to our framework, okay? So understanding the problem, we have external and internal. So external meaning that something beyond our control, meaning that it could be our family, the closest external that we can count on. It could be the community, it could be the political, it could be the weather, all the things that we cannot control is our external. Internal meaning that our passions are owned within ourselves, passions, commitment, field of study, field of work, even your own health and well-being is considered internal. If you find that as part of the problem that prevent you from reaching your goal, you need to list it down. So the best way is to list down what is the external problem, what is the internal problem. The internal divided into two parts. One is the field, the the purpose of what you're doing, and another one is the well-being. And then you can just focusing on internal, because if you focus too much on external, you're gonna get lost. And when you get lost, it's so hard to find yourself. So then you bring this internal to the solutions. Internal meaning that whatever you can control, right? List it down. For example, I don't sleep. I sleep so little. That's why my health is so weak. I don't exercise. That's why my health is so weak. I don't eat enough. I don't have, enough money to sustain myself. Only I think it's getting too small.
I will change it. Yeah.
Oh, is it me? Oh, is it too small? Yes. So you bring this internal into solutions. Try to set a solution. When you set the solutions, that's when you put in the smart approach in. When you put in a smart approach in, and then you're gonna jump into changes. Can we move to changes a bit? Yes. So changes can be complicated, but I want you to trust the process. Some changes could be bad, some changes could be good. So a bad changes, you can put it here. A good changes, this is the quadrant that we want the changes to be, okay? Right on the top right, meaning that changes that will benefit you. For example, how do you measure the changes? In terms of plugging in from the solution into changes. How comfortable are you to this change? You know that this is gonna be the solutions, but how are you gonna change it? Meaning that your lifestyle is gonna be changed. When your lifestyle gonna be changed, it's gonna be negatively, it's gonna be positively. So this changes is where you do a self-reflection in terms of what is the pro, what is the con. Sometimes you want to eat healthy, sometimes you want to be having a lot of sleep, but you need to survive. You need to work more. You need to do all those extra work. Like how is the changing affecting you? You put it up here. When it's after you do reflections on those changes, you start to take action step by step, little by little. It it's not ideal to take action as everything as a whole because you're gonna get burned, you're gonna get overwhelming, and you're gonna you feel depressed and pressure. So pick one at a time. And we're gonna jump into my value a bit. Ali, can we move to my value a bit? So my value is about us understanding ourselves. A lot of people don't take that seriously. We forgot to, we forgot to tap ourselves on the shoulder saying that, hey, we did a good job today. What is the value that we stand for? What is our core principle that we stand for? When things got tough, when you get bullied out the work at work because you fight for what you stand for, you fight for the righteous thing that you believe in. That is something that you give yourself value. That's where you know that either you should change the circumstances at work by quitting the job, or you change your mindset, understanding the value and the workplace and the manager is aligning with you. It's just like the time pressure, so you just change your mindset. So this is so important too. Okay. Move to the side, my duty. Ali. My duty and opportunity. Sometimes we need to think about it. What is it like? Are you seeing yourself 5 years from now as a manager? Or you're gonna be as an assistant for the rest of the 5 years? If you are in your organizations and you really love that organizations, I dare you to dream big, meaning that whatever your duty, your task right now, try to perform as good as possible so that you can take your manager's job. The manager is supposed to be hand holding you to perform your job, inspire you, motivate you. And if you cannot find those kind of manager, you should start looking in the organizations. Do you know someone that could be a role model that you can take their position in the next 5 years? That is the opportunity. And if you don't have that ambitions, I don't think it would be ideal for you to stay in that organization. Make sure that you have, you know, the courage and dare to take their positions in the next few years. Think about it. A lot of people are afraid to say that in the next two year or 3 year, I aim to take my manager positions. They scared that their manager feel challenged or something like this. In the next 3 to 5 years, your current manager is gonna be a director. So don't worry about it. And then and it's very important that you have that ambition to move upward rather than stay at one place and in your comfort zone. And if you don't learn anything at that, you should ask yourself where you want to be in the next 2, 3 years. What kind of skill do you need? Right? You need to understand your duty and opportunity is come together. If you do a good job, they gonna move you, but you have to keep your eye keen into what position. That is very important. Okay. Ali, can we move to the farthest left? Yes. My supporter and resources. What need to be done? For example, right now you are university students. What kind of resources do you have? Right now, you are, a young professional assistant. What kind of resources do you need or you have right now, so that you can move up to your manager position. So it's super important. Who could be your supporter? List them down. Divide this column into resources and supporter. And at the same time, you divide that's this column into resources that you have, resources that you need, supporter that you currently have, and the supporter do you need to move closer to your dream. It's super, super, super important. And you need to set your own objective on top of in terms of that too. Ali, can we move to the objective a bit? So what does it look like? For example, for the objective, what kind of financial support do you need? For example, I want to earn $5,000 in the next 5 years. So this is my objective. And in order to get that $5,000, this is the career path, the stepping stone that I need to do. And in order to get into that career path, this is the internal process that I need to jump, an organization structure that I need to tap on, right? And in order to reach that internal process or organizations, this is my learning curve. What is learning curve mean? Learning curve meaning that what kind of skill, what kind of knowledge do I need so that I can reach that career path, so that I can reach to that financial stability, that salary that I expected. Okay? Can you move a bit, Ali? So we're talking about learning curve. We're talking about my resources channel. Resources channel is also important too. What channel that you can reach out to? For example, you are part of this book club, and this book club, this role model joining, so I can tap on so that I can reach for mentor. The best thing is to find mentor at every step of the way. I myself, I have numerous mentor who are professional in legal, mentor who are professional in, um, giving advice, personal advice, health advice. I have a few mentors who's in the medical field. So find a mentor that you can trust in different field. So it's more like a resource that you can tap on. So find those kind of people. The more, the better. Okay. And when we doing all this, anyone understand about opportunity cost? Anyone want to give it a try? Any economists here? Can I call?
Yes, bro.
Yes. Willie, what do you think is opportunity cost mean?
Yes, bro. I think opportunity cost is like the cost that we need to pay when we do something. Or like, for example, we do something, we need to, we cannot get the other thing. That is the opportunity
Yes,
cost.
exactly. So, for example, if you craving for durians and mango, you get to choose one. If you choose something, you're gonna lose another thing. That is the opportunity cost. If you choose to build your career path and you become the manager or director and at your current organization, the other opportunity cost could be you move on to, different organization and jump and get a better salary quicker. It could be that, okay? You need to identify those opportunity costs so that you not regret. Whatever you do, not regret. Okay? Can we move to the other side, Ali? Sorry, I'm like moving all around. Yeah, this is very important. My cost of living, want versus need. Can I have Minia? Minia, are you here?
Yes, Bong, I'm here.
Yes. Minia, what do you think when Bong put my cost of living, want versus need? What do you think?
For me, I think like some of the thing that we want my uh I really it's referred to the cost that we are living or refer to the place.
Yeah, it could be. So
It's
one,
so want and need it's just like two different things. Need might be something that is really clear that you want it and it might be have more value than the one. That's what I think.
yes.
So
Thank you, On.
thank
So
you.
basically, a living cost could be different. For example, if I set my goal clear and I know that I need to get my master, I need to build on my skill, I need to, get a few license, and those activity need money. So meaning that I need to budget my personal living cost very carefully, right? And at the same time, I give myself a few wants. For example, get like a new car or get something, going into a night restaurant one in a while, but not very often. So this is about self-control, meaning that what we want versus what we actually need so that we can reach our goal and at the same time we can fulfill our goal faster by not wasting on what we want. At the same time, I also suggest that give yourself some break and reward uh a few a few time in a month too to get what you want. Does it make sense? Okay. So the next one is my expected salary. So the next 5 year, how much you think you get paid? Do you know how much your manager get paid in the same field? Do you know how much people in the same field at other company get paid? Or other non-profit organization or other government entity get paid? How much do you want to get paid? That is something. Money is important. Money is a motivation. Okay. And lastly, identify my role model. That is important. Who is your role model? You cannot say your mom or your dad at this point because your mom and your dad, they are someone that you can go, whenever you meet challenges, you can rely on. But at this, who is your role model if you choose this career path, if you choose to major in this and that? Okay? Try to find that. And why are he or she is your role model? What activity or what career path, what would be the stepping stone? What is the internal process that he or she have to go through? And it's easy. Just check everyone on LinkedIn. They have the history. So you can learn. For example, if I want to be, let's say, a business consultant, who should I look up to? Go to LinkedIn, look at people. For example, you need to have experience as a business owner. Do you have a degree in it or not? The what kind of aspect do you need to be a business consultant? Go on LinkedIn and search them out and then trying to put a few people all together, find the common ground that they have. Could be the same common ground, could be different. Does it fit you or not? Okay. Reach out to them. I don't think people are, not willing to share unless you being professional, say, hey, I'm very interested in what you're doing. So and so, and this is what I want to learn. I hope we can talk. If you can share with me what you're doing, on your daily life, at your most convenience, time and space. I think people are willing to share. Yeah. Any question on my journey framework? I know it's a lot, so this gonna be shared to you as well. Ali, if you can share the link to the Telegram, and also um, everyone can follow us on Facebook page too. Yeah. Um, I know time is running out. So I'm trying to process. Next. Okay. I know a few of you see this already, but for those who haven't seen this, it's called my tree. My tree is understanding where the roots is your principle, your past, what you want, and the branches representing what you want in life, meaning that different goal that you want to set. So when you want to set all this kind of goal, you have to follow MOT. MOT, my bad, MOS. Sorry. Ah, yes, MOS, Ali. No, MOS. Ah, sorry, it's 1 a.m. It's midnight my time, so my brain is like ching ching. I'll ask a rabbit. MOS, Ali. Yes. No, like a rabbit? Yes. Sorry, Ali. So for those who joined my session before, what does MOS stand for? I'm gonna look for familiar faces. Motivations. Yes, Lloyd. M is for motivations, or is for resources, and S for skill. Thank you so much, Lloyd. So what is your motivations after we're talking about for the last 2-3 hours? What is your motivation for yourself, for your family, and for your community? What are the resources that you have right now? What kind of skill do you have right now? And then also, what are you missing? What is the motivations that you're missing? What kind of resources that you're missing? What kind of skill that you're missing to reach this branch? For example, I set my goal that I'm gonna reach my PhD by 2030. I set my goal that I'm gonna combine, if possible. I'm trying to use the smart approach here, so that I can send people to get their master in the UK or abroad, at least 20 people per year. Motivations, I have 100% motivation. Resources, I have 60% of resources, because I need more people to jump in to support as a mentor, as a resource provider. Skill, I have 70% of those skill. but I need more skills, so that's why I have to bring more speakers to come in so that they can share. Okay, so each of these branches representing some of the activity that you need to set your goal. Either your career, either your educations, or like a life partner too. It could be anything. These kind of branches represent different things. So what you need to do, you need to follow smart approach to set those goals, and you need to follow MOS to check in your motivation, resources, and skill. And at the same time, you need to check in on what you have and what you need. Okay? And that's about it. I know it's a lot, but if you have questions, feel free to ask right now, okay?
Hello, Bong. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just could not catch it. Can you tell me again about the roots of the tree? What are we going to put in there?
Your principle, your core, your belief. You.
Okay, Bong.
Yes. So right here is your family, your motivations, and your background. Okay. All good. Do I need to teach in Khmer?
I think there's 6 registrations for the camera.
That's fine.
So, if
Anyone want to cover in Khmer? Oh, everyone is good already in English.
Khmer also
Only
got Bong.
do you understand the English part on?
I think I understand, but not like clearly from the root until the leaf. Yeah, at the top of the tree.
Okay. Okay, I can explain in Khmer just this part, right? So I think only it's good that we can stop recording, and then it's gonna be like an open session, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's have a question for asking about MRS.
Yes. What about MOS standing for? Well, okay, MOS stand for motivation, resources, and skill. Yes, thank you. สำหรับโอนได้ตอนដឹងថាអូអូខេដើមឈើ